All right. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Again, sorry about the frame rate. According to this thing down here, I move my hand very slowly across. It's not you. Semicolon. Sorry about the frame rate.
It's actually just a regular colon.
Oh, that's not correct. In fact, neither one is correct. All right. Anyway, let's move forward. Let's talk about Marvel Infinite.
This is why I don't write any of our contracts. All right.
So, last Tuesday, was during E3, but James and I had not had a chance to go by the time we got on the air. In fact, we only had a chance to go on Wednesday, the following day. Mm-hmm. But we did go on Wednesday, and I had a chance to play Marvel Infinite. I don't remember.
I did not.
You did not.
I did not play it because people were like, come play it. And I'm the kind of person that needs training mode to sit down and really build muscle memory. Otherwise, I just don't know what I'm doing. So I was like, let everybody else have fun. I did play it at CEO, though. I did manage to play
that's good, at least. Okay. I only played it once at E3. Mm-hmm. And I had first thought that they updated the models and whatnot, but then at CEO, I was talking with Tubaware and Keats, and they pointed out that it's probably just that the stages that were there are well lit, and so like a lot of the things that that made the models look weird in the one stage that's available for the demo, like weren't there. In fact, it looks nicer. So I feel like it's probably not actually the models changing. It's probably just better lighting.
Yeah,
which has
and
a big impact
there's
on
all
the
little
system.
small things. Like there was one guy out there who was an art expert, noted that all they had to do was add like little shadows on the eyeballs, and that like instantly made them look less dead. Like because they look like zombies right now. Like
for sure.
Dante is like he just looks creepy. But as soon as they add like a little shadow to the eyes, all of a sudden everything looked amazing.
Interesting.
So,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, in
not
any case,
amazing, but yeah.
No, right. And nobody's going to tell you it's the prettiest game, but it did look better in person, I thought, than the little story demo that we had talked about last week. So that was good, at least. But man, it's a very open game.
Yeah, it's very creative.
Invented. Okay, fine.
Look, everyone was giving people crap apparently because everyone kept using the word creative.
Yeah, well,
to describe the game. It's so creative. It looks really creative. It's really creative. And so like everyone thought that was like on Capcom's press release that they handed out, written on money as they handed out to people to talk about the game. You know?
Yeah. I don't even know the best way to attack that because it's so silly. It is an open, creative game. Like, it lets you do whatever you want. Here's an example. So, Keats at E3 was playing Ultron Rocket Raccoon. Okay, and here's what his shenanigan was. He would do a combo with Ultron into Ultron's Command Grab Super, which I guess you can combo into.
Okay.
He would then immediately tag out to Rocket Raccoon, and he would place Rocket's traps all over the stage while that animation of the command grab is happening, right? And now Rocket, if he gets hit, the traps go away.
Okay.
He just shot out the little gun, the little bop bop from full screen, and tagged Ultron right back in. Guess what? If Ultron gets hit, they don't go away.
Oh, man.
And they're just like, yeah, you can do whatever you want, man. Like, whatever the craziest setup you can think of you can do it. I don't know if they're going to launch the game like that in like a super wild state, but that's definitely how it is right now.
The very first time I saw the first video gameplay footage from E3, this is even before we went to E3 last week and stuff. As soon as I saw the footage, the first thing I tweeted, I was like, this tag mechanic actually looks broken. You know? And like that's what a lot of people are thinking, you know. They've been saying from a gameplay standpoint, like jump over someone, tag. You don't know what side the guy's coming in on, and so like how do you block and stuff. And like a lot of people are saying to super jump with Hawkeye, get right above them and gimlet, and then tag. What side do you block? Before you just gimlet them, but now you gimlet tag and you get a combo off the gimlet, right? So people are saying this could be, but like in my opinion, kind of like how we were talking about the NRS stuff, I want to give people the opportunity, a chance to experiment. Because I think, like, if you see someone super jump, before, you walked under them because that's what you did. You were trying to, like, hunt them when they came down, right? Now, obviously, that's not the right thing to do, so maybe if they super jump, you'll backdash. If they super jump, you super jump. So you don't even have to deal with the incoming character. There's going to be a progression of the game.
Oh, yeah,
right?
of course.
So,
Yeah, and everything in the game is wild enough that it doesn't seem to me on first glance anyway, that anything will be so wild as to just dominate everything. Maybe that will be found. I couldn't tell you, and I don't even know obviously how the game is going to launch. Maybe it won't be the current way that it is. But it seems like everybody has crazy enough crap that you can sort of deal with it. And Marvel 3 and Marvel 2 and etc., they're all like that. Like, I got hit by just simple, like, beam, then Dormammu does a cross-up. I couldn't even tell you how many times. Right? Like, when you think about that, you're like, wow, you can cross up from anywhere and a beam, and I don't know where I gotta block. Crazy.
Yeah.
But that's the whole game of Marvel 3. Everybody has wild stuff.
Magneto beam, and then Virgil teleports to one side or the other.
Yeah, everybody. So you just get used to it, and you play around it, and you do different things that don't let you get hit by that stuff, and you figure it out. So that's what I think was probably going to happen. But there's clearly a lot of really interesting stuff that you can do with that mechanic. And then you were talking with Peter with Combo Fiend about the instance of the $1 million.
So I was asking, if you tag someone in, are they vulnerable? He's like, yes, right? So I was like, okay, so if you're blocking like Ryu's beam, and while you're blocking, I thought it was only when you were getting hit that you could tag in your friend to save you, but you can do it even while blocking. So I was like, so if you're blocking a beam and you call tagging your partner, he'll get hit by the beam, right? He's like, yeah. And so he was like, but in the case of Dante, the first person could act like a human shield if he's far enough away from the edge of the screen. So while you're blocking it, if you can tag in your teammate and high jump, super jump, before he gets into that range, he can protect you if the opponent calls a teammate. So, like, let's say he calls $1 million, calls a teammate to mix you up while you're blocking. That guy comes in, you tag in your guy before you reach the edge of the screen, you super jump, and you shoot a giant beam down or something, and then, like, so there's all this crazy interaction going on, and, like, to me, that sounds amazing.
I think the implications of that are so cool.
Yeah.
It just implies that there's almost no time when you're stuck, right? You are free to do stuff almost whenever. You're blocking, you're getting hit, like you can take some action.
Yes.
Which is very unique. And there's obviously a lot of risk with that. Like, what if there's only 2 dudes on your team, right? What if you're getting hit by $1 million and you tag in your other guy and, like, you misplace whether he's going to be the human shield or not.
Right,
and he comes in and he gets hit too, and now you got to have your birthday, and then you lose the whole round.
Right, exactly.
Like, the consequences are very high. It's a stark situation, which is very interesting.
The one thing
I'm trying to dance around the word creative.
I know, right? The one thing I will say is that, we've talked about this with Killer Instinct before. When you play that game, you just get mentally fatigued because you're always thinking, because while you're getting hit, there's all this stuff going on and everything like that. I felt the same way playing Marvel, actually. So outside of when I got hit, but when I was actually doing the attacking, like, I would do something, boom, boom, shield / tag in my friend and come in there. But then all of a sudden I found myself playing one player with that second character jumping in, and I wasn't thinking about how to lead him into the next mix-up afterwards. And I was just, like, tagging randomly, and there was nothing constructive about the way I was doing it. And I was just like, man, if I could sit down in training mode and find these good sequences and, find ways to... Now, obviously, the tag mechanic, your character stands there for a very long time before they leave.
Yeah.
Right? So, because that's the way they prevented infinites and having, like, infinite block strings and stuff like that. So you're going to have to come up with some really creative stuff to make it work. But the things that you do have to lead into something now. You can't just play it and be like, okay, let me just tag in willy-nilly. Like, the amount of the ideas that you're going to have to come up while being imaginative are going to have to be really, really intense. You're going to have to come up with a lot of different ways to get your teammate in.
Yeah.
You're going to really have to be...
Ingenious.
It'll
take ingenuity.
Inventive. You have to be very inventive to continue to apply offense, you know.
Right.
And like I said, while you're doing that, it's less set play. It's less, hey, I have this character that I'm good at, and my last character I'm terrible, but I can activate X Factor, and it's a crutch.
Right. You can't have that character.
You have to be good with both of your characters. Like, I mean, like, good with the characters. You cannot be half-assing any character at all and just have an amazing point that has 2 amazing assists behind him.
Definitely.
You know? So, it's actually...
you have to find new tools and think outside the box.
You know what the interesting part of it, too, is? So, you know, one of the things that I still haven't gotten used to in Guilty Gear is the fact that you can YRC stuff or even purple RC stuff, right? PRC stuff. So if I whiff a button, like a ground move, and I see the guy jump and instant air dash at me, I should be able to PRC and save myself. I haven't gotten that yet, right? But that costs 2 bars out of 4. So it's very rare that you can do that, and if you do it, it's a heavy cost, right? Dude, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, that's just free. And it's constant. Like, I throw a shield slash, someone jumps at me, I just tag in somebody else, and he runs under, and that guy has to be scared now of hitting me out of my delay.
Right.
I was even using Hawkeye. I'm sitting there using Hawkeye. The opponent jumps at me. I would tag in Captain America and do the up counter. Because they're not thinking about the up counter. Because Hawkeye doesn't have an up counter. So I would tag in Captain America.
How fast can you do that?
Really fast. You could just come in and do it. But I kept forgetting what the motion was. I would come in and cartwheel and come in and shield slash and stuff like that. But there's a lot of really... disgusting imaginarium things that you can do with the game.
New stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard Mega Man's good, but weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the game seems fun to play.
Yes.
Let's talk about this whole is everybody getting paid fiasco. No. No. They look. When you told me that somebody thought L.I. Joe,
dude, that's the one that
got me mad. Too,
like Joe actually came up to me and told me, he's
Long
like,
Island Joe Charamelli. Come on,
the nicest man on the planet.
Seriously,
and he was so mad because someone claimed that Capcom paid for his flight, flew him out to E3, took him to the back media room, wined and dined him.
Ooh,
so even though they didn't,
Capcom with all the money and fancy wines,
even though they didn't pay him, they still treated him, and Joe was like, I took days off from my job, which I do not have enough days off of. You see his Twitter, how much he struggles to get days off to go to events. He bought his own plane ticket to get out here with his own hard-earned cash to make it out here. He did everything on his own, and people are telling him that Capcom, like, funded everything. Like,
look, Capcom has been attacked for having bad community liaisons. Like, we don't hear from the PR for months at a time, right? Mm-hmm. That same company, anybody thinks is interfacing with the players, and
damn,
that you believe both? How? That doesn't make any sense at all. And on top of that, look, if you believe that this has been paid for, understand the absurdity of your situation. You have such little regard for the opinions of top players, etc., that you think that they are shilling rather than that you believe them.
You want to believe what you want to believe.
That's not where I'm getting with this.
Oh, okay.
You clearly the top players don't have a lot of weight in their opinion. Okay? I've felt that way forever. I tried to get people to play Cross Tekken 2013 and Under Night, and like nobody wanted to do it. Mm-hmm. And same with a bunch of other games. I felt like I had no power to decide what people's games are, which I feel like is how it should be. But clearly there's not a lot of weight there. Why would Capcom pay to influence people who can't influence anybody else? I don't know. Like I don't understand what the calculus would be. You're paying a player so that they would influence the community, but the community is so not open to be influenced that now we have this huge shilling fiasco. Like, you're willing to believe absurdities instead of what people think, and Capcom would pay those people money? For why? There's no...
They can't convince anyone of anything.
No, there's no reason for them to spend any money on it. So not only do folks if this is real, I don't even know if anybody believes it or if it's a joke or what, but if it's real, not only do they believe that Capcom, the company who can't seem to do anything right and has terrible PR, is interfacing with the players in such a way that they are paying them money, okay, which takes a level of sophistication. But then on top of that, that they're wasting the money because the players can't actually convince anybody of anything.
Right.
I don't know. It's
it's
pretty dumb.
If they had that much money to pay people to shill, I would hope they would have enough money to pay people to fix Chun-Li's face.
Right? Yeah. Like
that would be better PR than trying to pay players to convince you to play their game.
I don't know. It's all weird. Yeah. Again, I don't know if it's real or not. I haven't spent a lot of time looking into it, but to the extent it is, it's very silly.
And it's weird. I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. That's one of the reasons why I haven't messed with the game that much. I haven't really had a drive to go play it, because if I played it, I can't say anything about it. Does Capcom pay me money? Yes, they pay me money.
Oh, for other things.
Right. Not for Capcom, not for Marvel, but for doing commentary for Street Fighter V. Right?
Well, they pay a company that then third-party intermediary pays us.
But that means if I played Marvel and was like, look, guys, this game is good, everyone's going to be like, because you have a stake in it. I can't even, like, what am I supposed to say to that? Like, at that point, you can't even debate with anybody, because at that point, they are going to believe what they want to believe, and you're done. That's it.
Yeah,
right?
like on Tuesday, you and I sat here for like half an hour basically pooping on the game. The graphics look bad. Are they the worst ever?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we were crapping up for like half an hour. And then the next day, we went there, and I was like, the graphics don't seem as bad in person. And people were like, hold on.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Maybe my check hadn't cleared yet.
Mm-hmm. We were waiting. We were trying to negotiating better deals
for better deals.
So, yeah.
So that our web show, watched by 1,097 people right now, would, I don't know. I'm not sure what the end game is anyway.
Look, I know a lot of people don't trust guys like Justin, right? Because he did all that Bud Light stuff. But the Bud Light stuff, that's like what they force you to do to try to win the Bud Light stuff. Like, they force you to do that, right?
Yeah, and that's stupid. They shouldn't do that, because
terrible.
Part of why they shouldn't do it is because it makes it so that people don't think that things are real.
Right.
Which is bad, because then we're in this situation.
And then, here's the problem, right? I can say this. Like, look, I know Justin Wong. He lived with me for a year. I became good friends with him, right? Of course, that also ruins what I want to say, because now everyone's saying, oh, you're just his friend, so you're defending him.
Yeah.
But look, the guy...
You hated him before that.
I did not like him. I was worried about him moving in, and I was like, all right, I'll give him a chance or whatever like that, because I thought he was a cocky, like, East Coaster kind of guy, who just talks shit all the time, and I was like, oh boy. And then I met him, and he's like the nicest, most introverted guy. He's super respectful. He's super nice. He just, like, bought a new house for his grandma. I mean,
that's true.
Jeez. To get her out of her tiny house of Vegas, in New York, like, moved her to Vegas, and, like, he just bought his grandma a house. But, like, this guy gets hyped for games. Like, he just gets hyped for games. I've seen him get hyped for games, and he's hyped for Marvel right now. Why wouldn't he be? Yes, he's good at Marvel. Yes, he can probably win a lot of money from it. But he played a lot of MVC2 because he loved the game. He played a lot of MVC3. He didn't even like MVC3 when it first came out.
That's true.
And he learned to like that game. And now this is his new Marvel game. Of course he's excited about it. But, like, because everyone wants to see that he has a stake in it, you're a shill. You're a shill.
Anyway, hey, if it's true that, like, we can significantly influence opinions, let me know, because I'll sell that.
We'll market that for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'll market some ads against that.
Yeah. And we also...
Hey, big esports companies, guess what? Turns out we can influence opinion. They'll be like, nah, you can't do that. Anyway, is that it?
Yeah, look, the game is... I see a lot of potential in it. And, I was having a conversation with Kim1234 about this, who's been playing fighting games for like 20 years as well, right? he's like super hyped for the game. Like you just see him tweet, he's like, oh my god, this game looks so creative. Whoa! They're paying him too. But like, I told him, I was like, look, we've been playing fighting games for 20 years. We're pretty good at seeing stuff in games and being like, okay, that's cool, or that's stupid, or that's not going to be fun at all, right?
Right.
You know, when Street Fighter V first came out, you know this, I had that same complaint. I was like, I don't think there's anywhere this game can go creatively.
I do recall that.
I was like, I don't think that this game is going to have much depth, right? Because that's what I saw in the game, right? And as soon as I saw Marvel, as soon as I saw free tag, I was like, this game is broken. It's like,
pretty obvious.
You can't even see that and not think that this game is going to be amazing. So, I just...
Anyway, this is going nowhere. You want to talk about other games?
Yes, let's talk about other games. Well, let's just talk about E3 in general.
Yeah, I meant other games because I'd like to talk about the old Dragon Ball.
Yes!
Sick.
I have not had a chance to try that.
Okay, I did.
Yes.
The Hot O and I went over to play it for a little while. Rick and I played it for a little while. And Justin was hanging out there too. And some pro football player was hanging out there. I don't know, we were playing games with him. I don't remember who it was. But he seemed really excited and he had Dragon Ball hat on. Dragon Ball shirt. And he was live streaming it.
Okay.
So that's who we were hanging out with. Man, it is super crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, we were just talking about how many crazy things you can do as a team in Marvel Infinite, but the individual character options in that game are really wild. I've seen.
Is it creative?
I wouldn't say it's creative.
Okay, well, continue forward. Sorry.
No, it's probably very creative. They just gave characters like really crazy tools. Like Cell it's just like jump A, it explodes the whole bottom of the screen. Mm-hmm. Jump Y is always a cross-up overhead teleport from anywhere. Mm-hmm. That seems pretty good. Like there's no input or anything. Like it's not even like you have to do a Dragon Punch. You just do it. And he has quadruple back. I think that is an unblockable anywhere. If the opponent's on the ground, if the opponent is grounded, then it's unblockable.
Jesus.
So I did like beam assist, unblockable. Yeah, it works. Like, there's just a lot of stuff like that in the game,
right.
And that's cool. Like on the one hand, on the other hand, maybe it's too much, but
well, the assists have a huge cooldown. Right?
It's not even the assists I'm worried about. It's more like the point characters options because the assists I think are not as crazy. The assists are more traditional. Okay. But in any case, very fun stuff. I really like the mix-ups that you can do with those kind of things. Like it's obviously built in to have super strong mix-ups. The movement is awesome. Combos seem, at least, I mean, obviously, combos in Marvel 2 and 3 early on seemed like they were nothing either.
Right, yeah.
And in this game, I saw people mostly doing like Guilty Gear-ish combos. Mm-hmm. Not like Marvel, like up and down, relaunch, up and down, kind of. I didn't really see that, but maybe it exists. I don't know. But yeah, dude, the movement, awesome. Characters options, awesome. It's even prettier in person than it is at home. Like, you guys have seen videos and stuff, which already looks great. Like, when I first saw the clips, right? Mm-hmm. Like, everybody, you see it and it's awesome. It looks even more hand-drawn in person. There are little things that you notice, like the little, like, movement lines, dashing, and it's like a cartoon, so it's like movement lines. That I didn't notice when I was watching it at home, and then we're super cool up close.
Dude, they even said that one of the reasons why it's 20% complete because they're going to add battle damage. Like as you fight, the clothes are going to get like scuffed up, like in the actual cartoon. So yeah,
that game is so cool, dude. It's very pretty, obviously, but on top of that, it seems really fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing like who the grappler is.
Dude, I cannot...
But right now, Boo is probably that, and he has Honda's butt slam.
Dude, I can't even, express how ridiculous the game looks. Like, it's just... To me, that is what video games need to become, basically, is that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, what they have done learning to do for Guilty Gear... all the way up to this point, and I've always been saying they keep getting better and better and better and better at it. The animations keep getting more ridiculous. This is like what it was meant to be, And I honestly do feel like Dragon Ball Z has the potential to become one of the biggest fighting games in the community because
Completely.
the IP is ridiculous.
There was this pro football player we were hanging out with. He wasn't over in the Marvel thing. Like I never saw him. He wasn't in the arms section. He wasn't there when Street Fighter V was coming out. Like he was there for Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
I get it. Like he grew up with it in the same way that lots of people did.
And it won so many awards there.
Yes.
And then not only that, but now there's this whole meme with the producer, right? I forgot her name, but like she was interviewed and she was like, yeah, the past Dragon Ball games were all made to be very approachable and they weren't very competitive or whatever like that, but she's like, this time we want to make something that works for the fighting game community as well.
They're doing it.
So it's like, whoa, like confirmation that they want to make this like a competitive game. And like, so now it's just like the craziness is ensuing, and if the game is only 20% done and they haven't shown the crazy characters, like there was other rumors that they showed the simple characters
I heard that.
first because they want to save the crazy characters for later. So.
Yeah, I felt that some of the cast were not quite as wild. Like there's definitely like the Ryu of the game, like they can't like there's the simpler ones for sure. But I think looking at Cell and Boo is like, if that's like an indication of the craziness that they're going for, it's going to be pretty crazy. Pretty crazy for sure. So,
yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I didn't play for that long. I think we played 2 or 3 games, and then I stood by and watched for a little while.
Okay.
There's only so long you can stay at the front of the line, and they kick you off. So.
Right, exactly. So, but I'm excited for the game, and there's no reason why you can't be excited for all the games.
Yeah, so, right, that's not at all the same game as Marvel Infinite.
Yeah.
That's
and it's not even going to be Guilty Gear either, too. So.
No, I feel like it probably has more to do with Marvel 3 than with Marvel Infinite. Like, so I feel like that's more of like the successor. And Marvel Infinite is just its own thing.
Yeah,
I just feel like it's going to be its own wild...
And I know a lot of people are mad about that.
Tatsunoko versus Capcom.
Kazunoko versus Capcom, nice. But I mean, I know a lot of people are upset about that. It's not the assist-based thing, but as I've always pointed out, Marvel kind of comes in pairs, and then they change styles.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's always been that way, right? The only one is MVC1, which just kind of stood alone by itself. It was like this weird... It really was the in-between of MVC2 and Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, right? Because, and then... So yeah, it's like Coda, MSH, one-on-one, add the team stuff in XVSF, MSH VSF, then Marvel vs. Capcom 1, and then the crazy assist calling in MVC2 and MVC3, and now Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, new path. And I'm okay with that.
Totally agree.
It's the same thing we talked about in Street Fighter V. Like, they want to go a different path. Yes, it doesn't play like Street Fighter 4. Good.
But I feel like both games can exist reasonably. Like, neither one preempts the other. Like, Gear doesn't preempt Marvel 3 right now, and I feel like they're basically crisscrossing. The Gear developer is also making, like, the Marvel 3, and it's like Marvel's going somewhere else. There's no reason they have to be competitive. Okay. In fact, I think it's really sick. Like, we heard that after Dragon Ball was announced, Guilty Gear sales went up.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
It could be the rising tide,
Yeah, exactly.
That's something that a lot of us were looking for out of Street Fighter V that didn't really end up happening.
Right.
But if instead it's Dragon Ball, awesome.
See, I mean, a lot of people are talking about this rumor that EVO numbers are really down this year, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this is what I mean. Like, everyone's like, oh, I hate Street Fighter V, I want it to fail. When it was successful, look what it did for everybody. It wasn't just Street Fighter V's numbers that went down, according to this rumor, right? So we don't know. It's like everybody's went down, right? If Street Fighter V was as successful, then there'll be a lot more people playing the other games too. This is how it works. Like, people have to understand that everybody helps everybody, and it's not about one game dominating over the other. Like get rid of this game, get rid of that. It's the rising tide raises all boats, or whatever that phrase is. Lifts all boats. Yes.
Yeah. Alrighty. So hopefully that'll be good. And then also at E3 was ARMS. I didn't play it at E3 because the lines were even crazier than for Marvel Infinite and DBZ. Like, Nintendo's area was wild.
Oh, okay. I never even got there. I never even managed to get there.
I basically walked through it on the way to other stuff. Because I saw it and I was, well, that's going to take forever, so I didn't do it. But I did play it for 10 seconds at CEO.
And you did not like
I hated it.
Well, that was only because of the motion controls.
That's true. The game itself looks very interesting.
Yeah. And I've
but
heard
man, the motion controls, I hate it.
Right.
Game looks fun though.
Yeah. I haven't had a chance to try it yet. As you can see, still sealed.
What?
Still sealed. Haven't even
Mint condition arms.
Condition. In fact, I'm going to open it up right now.
Oh man, we got a live unboxing.
I'm going to live unboxing, and I'm going to use my shiv.
Wow.
To open this
All right,
up.
well, that seems unnecessary. But
And a lot of people have said, like there's not a lot of one-player content in this game. And
is that true? I don't
yeah, there's not like a lot of stuff. So people are like, this is gonna oh, why isn't anyone getting mad about it? You didn't believe me when I said I was gonna use the shiv, did you? Not only that, but
it's a screwdriver.
In case people have not actually seen what a Switch game looks like, I've showed you what the Switch game looks like, right? So,
I've seen them. But.
So this is the case, right? And just to give you guys a good idea, here's my iPhone, okay? This is the iPhone right here. This is the game.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just basically a little micro SD card.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's crazy how small these things are.
Yeah, there's a ton of wasted plastic in that thing. Jeez.
Yeah, I should taste it to see how bad it tastes. You've heard about that, right? That they added a chemical to these things to make them taste super bad so kids won't eat them.
What?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Are you going to do it?
I've heard people said they try it.
Are you going to do it?
No, I'm not going to lick my arms.
Wow.
Do you really want me to lick the arms?
Well, it's up to you.
Do you really want me to lick the arms? Oh, you did it! Oh, no! No! Can I have some of your peanut sauce? Whoa.
Oi. That looked horrible.
Not gonna give me any of your peanut.
Yeah, look, I brought peanut butter with me because I brought an apple and I'm eating it. But
I don't even know how to get anything out of that. It's fine. It's fine. I don't want to stick my finger in there.
He did it. I saw from my perspective the tongue go boop.
Distinct contact, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm sure it would be a lot worse if I made, constant tongue contact with it, but, that was just brief, so it probably wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Yeah, you should eat it.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
I'm gonna be the new, what's her name? What was that? The girl who licked the PSP.
There's a lot of girls out there. Oh, I don't know.
Jessica Chobot.
The PSP?
I'm gonna be the new Jessica Chobot for licking arms on stream. There you go.
I don't get the reference, but...
It tasted sick and creative.
Oh, yeah. So, anyway, here's what I don't like about the motion controls, right? It's not like the game's out now, so maybe people have probably played it, but it's not like you keep your hands in a neutral position, and then when you want to move it, you do something, back, forward, right? You have to keep them in, actually in the real world neutral position. So if you prefer to, play with your hands up like this, then you want to move around, nope. They gotta be like this. I'm not gonna do that position. Oh no, you didn't. Something happened and I wasn't paying attention. Boy. Well. Anyway, I would hate to do that. I would hate to do that. And I didn't like it for the 10 seconds that I tried it, and I thought, I'll never get used to this, and I put the controls down. But I was hoping tonight to try ARMS after the show with you, because I think you have a video game controller that I could use.
Oh, right. Okay.
What happened there?
What do you mean?
You're talking to me now?
Yeah, I'm talking to you now. It was so gross, I had to swallow the whole thing.
Oh, well, I guess I'm not going to play ARMS.
Yeah, so sorry about that.
Hopefully you'll download it. I just hate the idea of the motion controls. Everything else about it looks fine, though. I was talking with Alex Valle about it, and I watched the ARMS competition. That seemed cool. You could throw. There's spacing, obviously.
Yeah.
You're moving around, and there's little footsies and stuff, and it seems like an interesting game. Yeah. I definitely want to try it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's very Virtual On-esque. You can tell they got a lot of inspiration from Virtual On. And, I was talking to Zerk, the guy who won the tournament at E3, right? So, I was talking to him about it, and I was like, do you prefer the motion controls? Because he won it with the motion controls, and he was like, actually, I just stuck with it because I knew they would make us use it while everybody else practiced on the pro controllers.
What a fighting game player thing to say.
Yeah, I know, right? But the thing about it, one what was cool is that, you know, he won up against the producer, and the producer just, like, bopped him, right? Yeah. So obviously he has a lot to go. But I asked him, like, so how do people like it on the regular controller versus the motion controller? And he said there's actually advantages to both.
Okay.
So he said basically when you're playing with the motion controls, it's much easier to, you know, because you can curve your arm punches. So when you punch, you can tilt the controller and your arm will go this way.
Right.
So you can kind of do that easier, right? But like while moving or something like that. But like on the controller, it's weird because you have to let go and go to the right analog stick. So you lose some things on that. But then on that, you have an easier time doing something else. I can't remember what it was. So there's definitely going to be distinct advantages between both. Unlike, which, for example, Mario Kart, where they had on the Wii the really crazy steering wheel controller, which there's just no advantage of that whatsoever. At least I don't think there was. So, but yeah, I think Arms has Armsies.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh man.
Anyway, I'm not going to play that via motion control. Like, it's just not how. I feel like that's not how humans play video games. Like, if you and I were to play right now, there's a table right in front of us. How am I going to play? Do I have to are my hands on the thing?
You just have to do it like this.
No, you can't. You can't do this unless you're always going to have your wrists at a bad angle. Because they have to be straight up and down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
you can't do this. Maybe you can do it way out front, but then you're like holding up your arms in a kind of uncomfortable way. It's just it doesn't. It's like they didn't think about like how would people play the game. I hate it.
Well, that's just motion controls in general,
I know.
Right? That's just motion controls in general. And if you watch that thing, they're all standing up. And
that's what I'm saying,
yeah.
which nobody's going to do.
Right.
So
yeah, everyone's going to learn to play it on the other thing. I need to get myself a pro controller, but I'll play it on the motion controls first just to see how it goes.
Let me know when you get a controller.
Okay, sounds good.
Everything else about the game seems cool, though. Definitely looking forward to trying it. Man, Broly Legs, I will definitely play you in ARMS. For sure.
Oh, man, that's amazing.
Yeah, people play the game on basketball courts, not in their living room, according to the Nintendo commercials.
All the Nintendo commercials, like, it's all, like, young, beautiful people now. It's, like, not kids anymore. Like, they're not... All their commercials and trailers are for, like, older generation.
Yeah.
Like the Pokemon commercial, where it showed the kid playing all the old ones, and now he's an old man working, whatever. Yeah. And he walks by the store, and he sees, like, Pokemon, and he's like... My childhood, and it's like you were just like the feels. Oh my god, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I was hoping that we would be able to play it in the airplane, right?
Oh.
And you just can't do that with motion controls.
Yeah, I mean, you just get a second pro controller and it should be fine, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't like motion controls. All right, what else we got to talk about here? Something else.
Anything else? Well, I don't know if you want to take a break and come back and then just finish off FGC news, or do you just want to just finish it off now because it's hot?
Oh, good call. Sure. What else is going on in the world?
Because obviously we have no ad slides to show during the break.
Oh yeah, we're not
disappointing anybody right now. So
we should with our influence.
Dude, that's right. I forgot to put up all the MVCI slides. Oh, I mean, it's here. I'm just gonna.